Salve galera, Heavy Metal Online, Metal no Papel. Estamos aqui com mais uma entrevista, mais um bate-papo, dessa vez presencial. E agora a gente está com o James McBain do Hellripper. So James, tell us about your journey here. Like you just got here in Ireland, basically.
Yeah, we arrived at the venue around 4 p.m. or something, and then we played at just after 6. So yeah, we had time to get here.
Yeah,
have a little break, set up the merch and stuff like that, and then play. Yeah. And now we have the rest of the night to kind of relax and watch music and hang out and stuff. So that's all good. But
yeah, it was a great show. You didn't have time to like enjoy the cold and wet weather in Ireland?
No, but I mean it sounds similar to Scotland. So
yeah, I was about to ask that. So you're living in the Highlands right now.
Yeah.
So it should be.
Yeah. It was raining when we left. So
yeah. Same here. So yeah, but it's very good set, man. It was like just quick and like very energetic.
Thank you,
like your live band is like just amazing.
Yeah, those guys are killer, man.
Yeah. Do you have like how do you choose your set list? Do you have like a process, or you just get the most like killer tunes and just go for it?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I ask people online and stuff as well. Like, I try and there's some songs, like All Hail the Goat or Bastard of Hades or something like that. That kind of they basically need to stay now.
Classic, right?
Yeah, but yeah, we try and mix it up as much as we can. We just songs that we like playing, songs that people have asked for. We try and have a mixture of like older songs, from each album, each release, kind of thing. But yeah, I mean it's always different. If it's a headline show and we have like an hour, or it's a support show, we have 30 minutes or 40 minutes. So yeah, it really depends on the situation, the weather. Sometimes if we've played a place very often, we try and do a different set list or whatever. But yeah, I mean, most of the songs are fast and thrashy, punky. Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot to choose from, a lot to.
Definitely. So you I'm sure you have like a very good like Brazilian like fan base in Brazil. Like I can tell like. Every time I have the chance to check your Instagram live, I'll find like many Brazilians over there.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
So
that's so cool to hear. So cool.
I know it's a bit far to go. That to maybe take a Latin America tour, but I'm very sure whenever you have the chance, you'll be very welcomed.
I'd love to get everywhere that we can.
Yeah.
As long as it's logistically feasible, financially feasible.
Of course.
I mean, this year we're completely booked up for European shows and UK and stuff. So we've still got a lot to do. We haven't been out of Europe yet. We haven't been to Australia, the US. So we've got a lot to do, and we'll get there eventually.
We'll absolutely. You are growing so fast, man. I'm very sure the next couple of years you'll be for sure.
Oh, thank you, man. Yeah, I hope so.
And you enjoy because the crowd there is like really loud.
Yeah, I've seen like Violator videos and stuff like that.
You know Violator?
I know one of my favorite bands, and I spoke with the guys, and they're great. They're one of the bands that kind of got me into thrash metal back when I was discovering metal and discovering thrash, like that wave of bands, Violator, Gamma Bomb, Toxic Holocaust, Havoc, Warbringer, Fuel by Fire, all that stuff. So
you also know Whip Striker, right?
One of my favorite bands, one of the biggest influences on Hellripper as well. Whip Striker.
That's
amazing.
So my first like official planned question was basically about that. So I've seen a few times you mentioning you like created Hellripper, like considering that local scene in Aberdeen, like 10 people, and now and you had like of course Toxic Holocaust, Midnight, and even Gamma Bomb as a big influence for you, and you basically tour with every single one of them. Late this year you'll be touring with Sodom, right? You also toured with ABBA. So crazy. And also you joined Peaceville Records alongside with Dark Throne, Mayhem, Bloodbath. So it's just in a very short period of time. So can you actually like notice like this growth from that original scene you had in mind, from like doing all of that, touring with your very like the band you look up to?
Yeah.
How does it feel to?
It's weird, man. It's crazy, and yeah, like you said, I had no real expectations for Hellripper. You know, I wanted to write an album, an EP, record it in my bedroom at home, stick it on YouTube, Bandcamp, and that was it. that was all I really had planned for Hellripper, and had maybe record some more music. You know, just kind of just to have fun. And I thought no one would really hear it or whatever. Yeah, I had no expectations, and then it's been a gradual growth throughout over the years. You know, just having more labels and worldwide labels kind of get in touch, and people from all over the world kind of, you know, pay attention and message me and stuff like that. So I do notice it, you know, but it doesn't. It hasn't really sunk in, you know. Like, I mean, I get to do this for a living. I get to play with these bands that are my favorite bands of all time. You know, like you mentioned, Gamma Bomb and Midnight, Toxic, Holocaust, Sodom later, Warbringer. I mean, it's crazy just meeting these people, and just getting. I mean, I've got nothing else to say. It's just
it's crazy.
It's ridiculous, man. And Peaceville, being on Peaceville, and I mean, it's weird. It's strange. I'm grateful that I'm able to do it. I'm grateful that people support the band, you know, and allow me to do it, and have an interest in the band. I mean, I just love writing music and playing music, and the fact that I'm allowed to do this and share that with so many people that I am so grateful. It's amazing, and I hope it continues.
I'm very sure, man. I'm very sure. So like you probably heard that like daily it's only Spotify will have like 100,000 new songs uploaded like every single day. So it's on the one hand it's like more like affordable and more easy for the bands to do that, to produce their own work and upload. On the other hand, it's like so hard to like cut through the noise. And how do you do that? It's like very, very spontaneous. Just wrote the song, just upload up there, and people begin to fall in love with it. Or you did something. What do you think? The question is, what do you think you did differently from all the other bands? I'm
not too sure. I mean, because I mean, there's so many bands that I like that I think should be a lot bigger than they are. I think it's a mixture of right place, right time, hard work. You know, I've been constantly doing Hellripper in some form. You know, I'm always writing music or recording or playing live or promoting the band in some way. You know, social media, especially early on. Hellripper was never meant to be a live band. It was just a solo project, and so the only way to promote things was social media for me. So early on, I got really into, promoting the band on social media. Doing live streams, engaging with fans and people that like the music and stuff like that. Hellripper's still very DIY. You know, there's more people involved now. Like labels and stuff and booking agents and all of that kind of thing. But I still do everything myself. I still write and record everything myself. I still run the merch store myself. I still do all the social media, all the business and management side of things or whatever. I still do.
You ship the merch. You go to the mail post. And
I ship the merch. So I do all that. But I mean, most bands do that. Most smaller bands do that. But I don't know. I mean, I think it's a mixture of loads of things, If I knew how to do it, I would, tell people. But I think there's an element of, for example, you mentioned Spotify. you know, there's like an element of like, luck and algorithms and being added to playlists and being put on people's like, what do you call it, like radio, whatever you call it, that kind of thing, you know. So some songs or some things get pushed to more people. Because of other factors, because of Spotify or because of the algorithm or whatever, you know. As you can tell, I'm no expert on that. But yeah.
You're doing a hell of a good job.
Yeah, I mean, I like to think it's like, I work hard, you know, Hellripper's a full-time job for me. It's like I'm working on Hellripper like all day, every day, basically, in some form, you know, whether it be, the writing or the promoting, emails, business stuff. That's my non-advice.
Testimonial. So, like, still talking about releases and Spotify and so on. Can you? That's your also your personal opinion. Can you tell us what you think it's positive and negative for both releasing singles and releasing full albums?
Yeah, I mean, singles. I mean, the way that things go. I mean, it depends on genre as well. Metal is still a style of music that is very album oriented. People want albums. You know, I prefer an album, a band releasing an album, and that comes with the physical editions. You know, you get CDs and you get cool artwork, vinyl, all that kind of thing. And albums, I think, especially in I can't speak for other styles of music because I'm not involved in those scenes, but in metal, at least, albums get more attention from press and stuff like that. So they put out an album. But you've got things like Spotify or TikTok or whatever kind of singles kind of work better in the algorithm, you know, or if you put out a single, Spotify will push it to listeners. Then if you put out another single, every single you put out, people are aware of it, so you've got more chance in getting more streams or whatever like that. And that especially works for genres where albums aren't necessarily the main thing, you know. But for me, I prefer albums. Like I said, I prefer to put out albums. I prefer to work on multiple things. I like to have a kind of what do you call it? I don't know. At least 3 or 4 songs, you know, in one package. I like to have something like that. But both have their advantages, both have their disadvantages, in the metal scene at least. And I think labels, I think the technique I think that's probably going to end up happening is some kind of more and more, I mean, it's already happening, but probably a mixture of both, you know. Bands will release, I mean, bands are already doing that now, you know, they release an album and then an EP and then, or a single or something. So I mean, I guess that's the kind of, it kind of helps you keep momentum, you know. You're writing an album, it takes, you know, however long, a couple of years in most cases, but if you put out a single, you can keep your name relevant, you know, just by releasing a song or an EP or something. So everything's got its pros and cons. It depends on what people want to do, you know, if you prefer to write single songs, then go for it. You know?
I think I completely agree with you. I think for metal people, we really like albums, even though recent bands like Hellripper, for example, they have a more younger audience, but still they're very used to albums. I think metal's just a kind of it's kind of embedded that albums are the way to do things in metal, I think. How about the splits? Do you think still a very important thing to?
I think they're good, and I've done a lot of splits over the years, you know. Again, it's a way to release a kind of couple of songs without going the album route. It's stuff you can maybe doesn't fit on an album or something, you know. It can be some sort of collaboration with another band. and of course you can reach each other's fan bases. You know, if you two or three or four bands or whatever, if you can make each other's fan bases aware of the other bands you're working with, I still think they're great.
Very good, man. Would you give any like piece of advice for like new bands that are like still struggling to like live the dream of making a living out of playing metal music?
Yeah, I would say my advice would be to do as much as you can on your own. You know, learn how to do, I mean, you know, whether it be any bit, you know, if you have a member that can do good artwork, that's saving you money there. You know, if you can record and stuff by yourself without renting a studio, all that kind of stuff, if you can home record, that's saving a lot of money and stuff like that. That you can invest in other things, you know, like better merch, ads, promotion, stuff like that. I would say, you know, learn how to do as much as you can by yourself, and but at the same time, don't be afraid to outsource things if you can't do it. You know, if you're bad at drawing artwork or whatever, if you can't draw, it's better to get someone to do it, you know. But if you have the means to do it yourself, it's better to do it like that, you know. For example,
would you say, for example, merch is like the main pillar for a band to be like sustainable?
Yeah, but it depends. It depends on the following as well. I mean, merch is the best way to support a band, and you know. But if you're a smaller band, like you judge it, don't get like 500 designs when you've only got like, you know, 1,000 followers online or something. You know, it's so yeah, you've got to kind of invest wisely or something, you know, in different areas, and work hard, you know, give it your all if you really want to do it. You've got to be in it. For me, I think you've got to value the music most of all, rather than going into it wanting to make a living, wanting to be famous, wanting to, you know, play massive shows or whatever. Like, go in it because you like to write and record music and kind of build from there, you know. And work hard, you know, just constantly learn new things, try new things. Yeah.
Yeah, very good, man. Very good. So, how about like both musically and production-wise? We can notice like the first album, for example, would be like very black metal aesthetic and riff-wise and production-wise, and then we can spot it like subtle change. It's still like completely very clearly Hellripper. Yeah. But the last album, for example, we can notice a more like pristine and fresh, modern production, and more like intricate riffs and solos. Is that like a learning curve? Like you are like experimenting, or is something like to make it to reach a more broad audience, maybe?
It's nothing about reaching an audience. It's just what I want to do. I mean, it's a mixture of learning. You know, when I recorded the first EP and stuff, I had never recorded anything really at home, or I didn't know what I was doing. You know, the first EP, the first version of the EP that was released and stuff wasn't even mastered or anything. I didn't know what mastered.
You delete now. No. The first 2013,
something like that. Yeah, I tried recording, and I thought it sounded awful. You know, so I deleted that and kind of tried to learn more and improve my skills. And then the first version that was released wasn't even mastered. I didn't know what mastering was. Like, I didn't know if it was important. You know, I thought mastering and like mixing were like the same, like similar things. You know, I had no idea. And just over the years, I've managed to improve my skills, managed to experiment with different things, find out more of what works, what doesn't work, and then improving as a a musician as well, you know. Back when I recorded the first stuff, I could never play half of the guitar solos that are on the newer stuff, for example. And I learned how to, just do more stuff. And of course, I'm a music fan. I like all sorts of music, and so as I improve my skills musically and production-wise, and improve my ear and songwriting and all that, I'm able to more effectively bring in different influences, you know, over the years. So the first EP, for example, is very metal punk, kind of Toxic Holocaust, Midnight, Whip Striker, Venom, that kind of stuff. But I listen to a lot of stuff, you know. I listen to death metal and
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Red Hot Chili Peppers, of course.
Straits.
Yeah, Dire Straits, Opeth, Cannibal Corpse, you know, whatever it is, the Beatles. And yet over the years I kind of learned how to kind of more effectively utilize those influences, and I'm always listening to new stuff, so the more you listen, the more production ideas come in, you know, like, you know, just putting things on different speakers, or a different way of recording guitar, a way of achieving a certain sound. It's all just, and I think like as the music has become a bit more complex, and on the last album especially, the production that I went for in this album fits the style more, rather than the really raw kind of earlier production. It's never for to reach an audience, or for any other reason than I want it to sound that way, you know. The music part to me is very important, so I try not to have any outside influence, you know. I want it to be, if I like it, that's good enough for me, and hopefully other people like it, you know. If I started trying to reach a broader audience, trying to do stuff that for any other reason than I didn't want to do that, then you would hear it wouldn't be as good, it would be diluted, it would be bad.
Absolutely, so important. How about Gamma Bong, like being here in Ireland, do you talk to them maybe to team up and play some gigs here?
We have spoke about it. I think I'm meeting the guys from Gamma Bomb later tonight. I hope it depends on time and stuff, but I speak with the guys quite often, especially Philly, and their last album was probably one of my favorites of theirs as well, Bats. They're a killer band, really, nicest guys, you know, and again, one of the bands that got me into thrash and metal in general, and it was amazing playing with them a couple years ago. We done a UK tour together, and we played a show last year together in the UK. I mean, I'm sure we'll cross paths again. We spoke about doing something in some form, so hopefully it happens. I'd love to.
I think it would be a very good gig. I'll be there for sure. I've heard you mentioning you really like the Affair of the Appois, or the Poisons and Hanging Tree, like to play them live. And I want to ask you about the last album. What's like the song that turns you on the most to play live?
The Knuckle of E is definitely my favorite from the album, I think. The Knuckle of E is a fun one to play. We've played most of the album live now. We're going to be adding a couple more to the set list in the next couple of months. The Knuckle of E is just really fun. There's loads of parts. There's like the kind of head banging dark throne part in the middle. There's guitar harmonies. There's a little blast beat. There's speed metal. 2 guitar solos. There's kind of everything in there, and I think it's one of my favorite songs that I've written. And I think it translates well to the live setting, just based on the reaction and how much we enjoy playing it. So it would be the Knuckle of E.
That's definitely my favorite, man.
Excellent,
I think like this song would like embody the new phase of Hellripper. Like you have, as I mentioned, everything you tend to put in a song. It's a very good song.
Thank you, man. I think it kind of, that's why I released it as the first single as well as the album, for the album. So I think it summed up the whole album, and it was the opener. It just starts 1 second drum fill and then into a speed metal thing.
Killer riffs. Just killer riffs.
Thank you, man.
So about riffs, in the context of like one-man band, sometimes we tend to write very like familiar riffs, and sometimes like way too similar to our like influences.
Yeah.
And did you have someone that you can trust like to verify those your songs, or you just fully trust your guts and just once you finish the song you just go for it?
I usually, especially in later years, like before, it was kind of just me doing it, you know, and I would kind of just put up whatever I wrote when I was just, especially the first releases, there wasn't really any, there was no like campaign or press campaign or release plan. It was kind of that I would finish a song and I put it online the next night, you know, I would just put it up online. But now, of course, albums take months and months of preparation and like to produce like vinyl and all that kind of stuff and marketing campaigns and all that. But I've got a few people, the guys in my live band I send stuff to often. My partner, I'm always getting her to listen to the stuff I'm working on. I send it to people at the label. I sometimes play stuff on like live streams, you know, like Instagram Live or whatever. And I see what they say. But usually if there's a part I really want in the song or a part I don't want in the song, it won't be there, you know. Mm-hmm. Usually it's like something I'm really unsure of, I'll ask people, I'll be like, what do you think of this? And if I have that kind of mindset, usually they will say, yeah, it's not the best. And it's kind of me like, you know, wanting confirmation that it's not, you know? Because writing an album, like by the time I record an album, I've heard the songs about thousands of times, you know? So you get to the stage where I'm like, this is either the catchiest chorus anyone's ever written, or I've heard the song 1,000 times and I remember it, you know? So you kind of get in your own head, and it's good. It's good to have outside opinions, you know, from people that you can trust, you know, people with similar like tastes, and you know, I don't want to send a black metal idea to someone that like hates black metal, only listens to like
power metal.
Yeah, exactly. So have people that like have a similar taste to me, or have, you know, that I trust their judgment on. I think that's really important. And I guess if you're in a band, you have kind of 3-4 other people to give ideas and cut ideas and stuff like that, whereas just being the solo project, I have to kind of look elsewhere to get opinions. And but the people that I trust usually, well, they've got me this far.
Yeah, man, that's basically it. Just tell us which bands are you listening to at the moment?
What am I listening to at the moment? I was listening to Final Gasp. It's like really cool. It's like metal post. It's like kind of Misfits, Danzig metal. Like that kind of thing. That's really cool. I've been listening to a lot of Stone Temple Pilots recently, actually. Typo Negative, Black Viper. That's some cool speed metal. What else have I been listening to? I've been mostly working on my own album, so I've been kind of focused on that for the past while. But loads of.
When do you think you'll be able to release that? The news?
I hope next year at some point. Loads of behind the scenes stuff to sort out, you know, like logistics and all that kind of stuff, as well as writing the music. You know, I've got one song is basically done, which I think is really cool. We might add that to the set at some point if we all manage to rehearse it and stuff. There's a few. I'm liking how it's sounding so far, but you never know. I might get annoyed and delete everything. You know.
Don't fucking do that. Not again, man.
I mean,
do you regret doing that on the first like songs you wrote? Maybe just to check.
Usually I keep usually it's like parts that I'm not that I'm not a fan of. So usually, you know, I've got files and stuff like that I check, and I've even got like phones from like 2010 or whatever, or 2008, 2010, when I was like first starting guitar, and one of the songs on the first EP, Black Mass Sacrifice, that's the first intro riff is based on a riff that I came up with when I was like 13 or something, you know, like, but I improved it, you know, it was a bit primitive and horrible.
I think a few, like maybe a couple of the song on your first release, you have like kind of wrote before and then you improve, like All Hail the Goat maybe?
No, All Hail
Total Mayhem?
Total Mayhem, that first EP that you mentioned that I deleted like in 2013, that had Flesh Ripper, Total Mayhem, and Trial by Fire, like versions of those. I think I improved them for the EP, but there was another one that was kind of like Sodom Agent Orange inspired, but I don't think I had the skill to kind of pull it off. I think the structure, if I remember correctly, the structure, it was kind of like just random riffs kind of put everywhere, and
like riff salad.
Yeah, kind of like that, but not even like a good riff salad where it was like building and it was just kind of like a riff after riff.
I understand perfectly.
So that song, I deleted that because it wasn't good. If I delete things, it means they weren't good, and usually it's I delete parts, or I don't mean some cases I do delete everything, but usually it's like, for example, I the Deceiver, the bridge riff, the rock and roll kind of Venom, Judas Priest sounding riff in the middle, that was written like 5-6 years ago. It was originally the bridge for Decrepit Christ on the Black Hearts EP, but it didn't work. But I really liked the part, so it didn't work. But I took it out of the song. Then it was what songs on Affair of the Poisons? I can't even remember my own songs. It was on one of the songs on the Affair of the Poisons as well. I can't remember which one, but it didn't fit there again. And then I kept it because I thought it was a cool riff, and in the end I found I the Deceiver, which it fits in. So I've got like thousands of like tabs and riffs and stuff on my computer and recorded on my phone and stuff, and but the new album I think is sounding cool. A lot of different influences again, some very straightforward return to kind of, you know, the Black Hearts EP kind of style, some very much not,
something leaning more like black metal, minor chords, like the last album. It's more similar to the last album than the previous stuff. It's kind of there's loads of parts. There's like different styles of riffs, you know, a couple of like melodeath influenced riffs, some black metal and blast beats type stuff, some punk, some speed metal, thrash metal. That's good.
Some
a bit of everything.
Yeah, a bit of everything. I mean, I'm saying that now. I don't know what's gonna make it to the album yet. But I've got one song kind of basically recorded, one song finished, which is very different, probably the most different Hellripper song so far. I've got the album out. The songs I have finished is probably the most Hellripper song and the most not Hellripper song so far. So it's a cool. We'll see.
Yeah, definitely, we'll see. That's it, man. For those few Brazilian headbangers that didn't have the chance to know Hellripper yet, how would you like present them? What kind of sound do you do?
How I would describe it, I would say black speed metal.
Yeah, thrashy.
Thrash, speed, black.
Everything. Every good thing.
I mean, it's been described loads of ways. I just say black speed metal or speed metal. You know, it's fast music for the most part.
Fast and heavy music.
I would say listen to either maybe All Hail the Goat or maybe the Knuckle of V to start off if you've never heard the band. It kind of sums up the band the most, I think, out of the songs, like the released songs. Yeah.
That's it, man. That's great. Anything you want to add? Maybe like Instagram?
Yeah, I mean, we're everywhere. You can find Hellripper on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Bandcamp, just everywhere. Yeah, Spotify, wherever you stream music and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, if anyone wants to check it out, thank you very much.
That's it. Thank you very much. Hellripper, guys. Se liguem. Well done. You can cut.